Matt Walsh. I don't know if you saw the whole Matt Walsh talking to Tennessee Democrats about the mental illness for minors bill. And it's a very interesting video, and I think we should watch it together because he pretty much takes them to the cleaners. Sorry, I'm still kind of sick. I apologize for that cough. That was a little much. Cool. There's no sound of this? Freaking A. You know, story of my life. You think you're on top of life, but you're really not. Hold on, I'm gonna pull up another one. Come on, doesn't it have a freaking sound? I mean, what am I supposed to do? You know what I mean? All right, where is this? All right, okay, here we go. This was, when was this? Yesterday. Here's Maddie Matthewson.
My name is Matt Walsh. I'm here as a husband, father, and concerned citizen of the state of Tennessee, and I want to thank the committee for allowing me to speak and for all of you on the committee who support this important legislation. Now, I know that we can't agree on very much these days, but we should be able to agree that our most solemn responsibility as individuals, as a state, and as a country is to protect our children. We should be able to agree that children do not have the physical, emotional, or mental capacity to protect themselves or to make life-altering decisions. We should be able to agree that it's never okay to chemically castrate, sterilize, butcher, or mutilate a child, and in fact, all decent people do agree on all these points. But many of the people who hold power in this country and who run our institutions, including our medical institutions, do not pass this basic test of decency. They've made House Bill 1 not only necessary, but one of the most important pieces of legislation this body has ever taken into consideration. In service to a radical far-left agenda, children are being led down a path of gender confusion and identity crisis. This crisis, manufactured by the culture, is then exploited and monetized by medical professionals who first put them on chemical castration drugs like Lupron. Then the victims are given cross-sex hormones, which often have irreversible and permanent effects. Finally, before the age of 18, many of these kids will undergo surgery, such as double mastectomies, which will alter their bodies and their lives forever, taking something away that they can never get back, no matter how much they regret it in the future, and so many do. This is happening across the country, and that includes in our state. Children are being coerced into decisions that they are not equipped to make in pursuit of a goal that can never be attained. The girl who gets the double mastectomy is no closer to being a boy after getting the procedure than she was before. She's still a girl and will always be a girl, just now a mutilated.
These detransition videos are incredibly... Dude, those videos freaking break my heart, man. Because it's like I constantly say, it's like you're messing with kids. And their brains are not fully, they're not fully developed until about 25. And a lot of what they're experiencing in their life circumstances is learning to trust adults, learning to trust their environment, learning to find their community, who they are. And by encouraging this kind of stuff and like a bodily mutilation as like an answer, or taking drugs to slow down their formation as grown adults, is sickening. It freaking breaks my heart. Like again, if you're an adult and you want to do this stuff, I could care less. More power to you. Whatever. I don't care. But kids, that's insane. And it's more insane that you're seen as a bigot if you say anything other than like encouraging people just to live however they want to live. And like, yeah, sure, adults, fine, but children, that's not fine. I know a lot of girls have a tomboy face. Yeah, okay, exactly. We so much in the space of psychology, we've confused like temperament or just like personality as a means to like gender, instead of just what you're into or a phase you're in or whatever. As somebody who works with kids, like you see them go through phases of life. I just can't imagine if I was to take one phase of who they are as a child and create an entire world for them based on that one phase. It just sounds insane in what a child would do for another child, not an adult. Children are precious. They need to be outside playing freeze tag, rough. Exactly. Thank Christ I grew up in the Super Nintendo, dude. Yeah, me too, man. Me too. Super Nintendo. Homeschool the kids if you can. Yes, 100%. Someday criminal charges for these people. I hope so. I genuinely hope so. Some people have to learn the hardest way. They go through procedures. Once it's done, they realize how horrible their mistakes. Yeah, you see that all the time with kids. I mean, just keep watching this video. It gets better.
And damaged one. Now, you may notice that most of the people who support and advocate for this butchery are not petitioning to lower the drinking age. They're not trying to pass a law to allow middle schoolers to get tattoos or take out mortgages or purchase firearms or cigarettes. That's because even they recognize that minors lack the maturity and discernment required to make those choices. They recognize that when it comes to alcohol and tobacco and guns and mortgages and tattoos, yet when it comes to irreversible, life-altering medical interventions, suddenly these same people discover a newfound confidence in the responsible decision-making powers of children. Their position is not even consistent or coherent, much less morally or scientifically defensible. We cannot allow this wickedness to continue. We cannot tolerate it. We are decent and rational people in this state. We love our children. We recognize basic truths. One of those basic truths is that a child who is confused about her identity needs guidance and love and clarity. She does not need hormone injections and scalpels. She needs.
Derek here, awesome. Our children are the most important. Hey, man, I appreciate that, Gary. Yeah, they are. I mean, and as adults, you have to look out for them. Even if they're like idiots, you know, there's a lot of stupid children, kids out there who are jerks and, you know, spoiled and all kinds of stuff, but they're still kids, you know, like they're kids at the end of the day. They're going to do stupid stuff. You got to treat them like kids. They're not like fully formed adults. They're not like you and me. Like if I do something stupid or I say something really insane, you hold me to a standard that's what an adult is supposed to be. Whether I act like an adult or not by putting on stupid wigs and stuff. Like you still hold me to that standard. This is for kids.
And deserve to be protected from those child-abusing quacks and soulless vultures who wish to exploit her confusion for their own gain. That's why we need this law. Our kids cannot protect themselves, but we can, and we must, and we are.
Let's go.
Thank you.
It's good. Okay. To be fair, I'm the only adult by biological and legal standards. That's hilarious. Okay, and then there's like a point where some of the Democrat guys that are questioning Matt Walsh starts trying to make him look bad, and it's one of the most cringy, ridiculous back and forth I've ever seen. So this is just like the icing on the cake when it comes to what Matt Walsh was just saying. There, here we go.
What was your? Are you a pediatric? What was your specialty?
Dr. Hamada.
I am board certified in I can't even talk. Obstetrics and gynecology, as well as family medicine, with a focus on sports medicine as well.
Representative Clemens.
No endocrinology or pediatrics.
Pediatrics is part of family medicine, and then also with regards to.
Okay, that's from the same hearing. I obviously pulled up the wrong video. See, this is what, you know, this is freaking live show. This is live, but I'm gonna pull up the right video but that's from the same exact area where he testified. It gets better because they start like questioning him, making him try to like look stupid. It's pretty freaking hilarious. Hold on. God, now I gotta find it. You know, this is for the clicks. Anything for the clicks, man. Where is it? Okay, sorry. Okay, here we go. Sorry.
Just curious of your definition of if you feel like people are adults at 16 should.
No, people are adults at 18, but actually, your brain is not fully developed until you're 25. So we should be having a conversation about whether we should even be doing these surgeries to people at 18. But certainly before 18, it's absurd. I mean, do you think that a 16-year-old can meaningfully consent to having their body parts removed? Do you? No?
Of course he's not going to answer that question, even though he would support a bill for it. Hey, who am I? I'm just some council guy. We're just hearing from our woke college kids that tell us otherwise.
Oh, Caleb Hammer, another ghoul defending the indefensible, had no answer. God bless Matt Walsh for doing that. He's the host of the Matt Walsh Show, joins us now. Matt, thank you. It's so satisfying to watch. Well, you expose these people as truly filthy people.
Yeah, I think, well, they expose themselves to it, I think most of all. And the interesting thing, too, is that I'm sitting there in the hearing. I was giving my view on this bill. I'm in favor of the bill to ban the mutilation of children. I'm giving my view as a taxpayer and a private citizen, not an author of the bill. So their really failed and embarrassing attempts to discredit me were not only humiliating for them, but also totally irrelevant, because even if you can prove that I'm a terrible guy, does that automatically make it okay to mutilate children then? Because that's what we're supposed to be talking about. But they don't want to talk about that because they know they can't defend their position. This is the position that Democrats and the left are constantly in on many issues, in particular on this one, where their position is something that is it's so unspeakably evil that they can't speak it. So you can defeat them in an argument simply by trying to get them to state their premise. They can't even state their premise. I mean, the Caleb Hammer
does believe that 16-year-olds can consent to having body parts removed, but he can't say that out loud because he knows how crazy it sounds, and so instead he just falls silent.
You look at someone like John Ray Clements, looks like sort of a normal person. Maybe he has kids. He's in favor of cutting the breasts off girls? I mean, how could anybody get to a place where that's okay?
I think, I can't see inside their minds, but I have to imagine that most of these people know at some level that it's wrong, but they're just ideologically beholden to it. That, again, is why they don't even attempt to defend it. And instead we get this credentialism thing going on, as if I need credentials to know that abusing children is wrong.
Well, as a Harvard-trained physician, I agree with you. It's wrong.
It's a really bad idea to chemically castrate children. This is considered a legitimate debate topic. I know. Honestly, like, the fact that is considered something to be debated is just, it's beyond silly. It's not even funny. It's just, that's how extreme, like, the rabbit hole goes, you know? Like so much of, like, what we go back and forth on, it's just, like, I'm dumbfounded by all this. All right, and here's another clip from that exact exchange right here as well, where he just goes back and forth with this guy, and it just makes him look ridiculous. And Papa, you're cracking me up with all the Matt Walsh stuff in the chat, by the way. No, they're not ideologically beholden to it. They get buttloads of re-election money to support this. Yeah. I mean, these Democrats, like, it's hard to tell if they actually believe this or they're just told to believe this and they'll do it in order to be in power. You know what I mean? You know, when you're part of a religion, you're not supposed to question where the truth comes from. You're just supposed to bow before it and submit to your authority.
What was your, are you a pediatric, what was your specialty?
Dr. Hamada.
I am board certified in I can't even talk.
Okay, is this the same? Where is it? Like, Matt is like messing with me. Okay, here it is. Golly. Okay, here we go. I've tried to play this clip like 10 times. In Russia, they would get life in prison. Yes, they
Can
would.
you give us a summary of your educational background or your healthcare education?
I didn't go to college, but I did go to school long enough to learn how to read, so I can read the data for myself, and that's exactly what I've done.
And for what purpose do you conduct your research and use this brain of yours?
I use it for the purpose of trying to protect children from being castrated and mutilated.
You don't use it to get clicks?
Well, are you using it right now to try to get clicks with this interaction?
You know, if you're going to come before a committee and make mischaracterizations and misrepresentations, it's fair game for us to ask you your educational background.
You seem to have started this, so you have no medical background, correct?
No.
You're trying to address good public policy, correct?
Yes.
I just have to question, some of your public policy. Singapore is able to have nice things in part because they execute drug dealers by hanging and arrest even petty vandals and thieves and beat them with a cane until they bleed. We don't have nice things here because we aren't willing to do what is required to maintain them. I kind of have to question your public policy beliefs. And you also stated there'd been no studies. Well,
I love when people will take something that has nothing to do with what you're talking about from an old video or an old tweet and just like bring it in and just like, well, see, this completely discredits everything about you. So
I'm sitting here holding a study from the American Academy of Pediatrics, suicidal disparities between transgender and cisgender adults and children. Before you state things, you may need to know all the facts.
On your blog, at about 16, you're an adult who's mature and can make decisions. You're that at 16. I don't care what anybody says, even going so far as to say when you're 16, you should be married and pregnant. 16 is an adult in your view. Why does this bill have minor defined as 18?
I was a radio host 13, 14 years ago in my early 20s. It's also not an accurate reflection of what I actually said. I was talking about the fact that people tended to marry young historically, and that's all that was about. How does that relate to this? To all of a sudden act like this phenomenon of girls getting...
God. It's just so ridiculous, all the stuff they were trying to like break him down and make him look silly for. And that's what this whole debate is. It's not even a debate. Their view is to make him look as stupid as they possibly believe that they can do, and instead of actually addressing the points he's talking about or challenging him on his ideas, and that's what you're up against. It's just so ridiculous. But this is where we are. 2023, everything's looking up from here.